In a move that's shaking up the global trade order, US President Donald Trump has aimed his trade war crosshairs at two major BRICS economies.
You have this movement called BRICS is saving our defense, but BRICS they wanted to try and take over the dollars, the dominance of the dollar, and the standard of the dollar in our city. But it's in the BRICS consortium of nations with tariff 10%. And that meeting the following day, I was really shocked. They've got just thinking about waking up, and you want to be tariffed there. That's crazy.
Brazil and India slapping them with punishing new tariffs. And this time, the fallout might be felt far beyond Washington, New Delhi, and Brasilia. The White House has announced an additional 25% tariff on goods from India, bringing the total to a staggering 50% on most products, one of the highest rates faced by any US trading partner. The reason? Washington says New Delhi is still importing Russian oil. Brazil, meanwhile, is facing the same 50% tariff rate, but not for trade reasons. Instead, Trump is reportedly furious about the legal battles facing his ally, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, who's been charged with plotting a coup after his 2022 election loss. The message from Trump seems clear: put pressure on these countries until they sign trade deals heavily tilted in America's favor, a tactic he's used before with Japan and the European Union. But this strategy could have unintended consequences. By hitting Brazil and India at the same time, Trump risks pushing BRICS members closer together. The BRICS group, originally Brazil, Russia, India, and China, with South Africa joining later, now includes 11 full members and 9 partner countries. Although the group has historically been more symbolic than cohesive, nothing unites like a common enemy. This week, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced plans to visit China for the first time in more than 7 years, a move that could signal thawing relations between New Delhi and Beijing. Meanwhile, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva says he'll call the leaders of India and China to discuss a joint BRICS response to the tariffs. On paper, this might look like the start of a powerful united front. But experts caution that the BRICS alliance has always been fragile. Trade amongst its core members remains surprisingly low. Only 14% of the total trade is with each other. China dominates the group economically, politically, and militarily, while the others, particularly India, have been wary of falling under Beijing's influence. And while Russia and Brazil may enjoy strong commodity trade with China, political differences remain sharp. Still, there are signs of strengthening ties. Last year, China-Russia trade hit a record $244.8 billion. China is also Brazil's largest trading partner, buying 70% of its soybean exports. And both China and India remain top buyers of Russian oil. In the short term, Trump's tariff assault could lead BRICS nations to cooperate more closely in trade, investment, and even currency use. But whether this cooperation can survive the group's internal rivalries is another matter. India may not want to lean too heavily on China, and Russia's international isolation limits deeper integration. For now, though, the tariffs have given BRICS something rare: a shared cause. Trump's gamble is high risk. He could force concessions and strengthen America's negotiating hand, or he could push these emerging economies into a tighter bloc, one that challenges US influence in the long run. Either way, the trade war has a new front, and this time the battle lines run straight through the heart of BRICS. With Saurik Saha, Bureau Report, India Today Global.